Top Chef Canada has announced the 11 contestants who will be competing for the $100,000 prize on the upcoming 9th season of the culinary competition. Siobhan Detkavich, a Cowichan Tribe member, will be among them this season. She's just 21 years old and the first Indigenous woman to compete on Top Chef Canada. Thanks so much for joining us today, Siobhan, and congrats on making it into the competition.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
So you started training to be a chef when you were still in high school at the age of 16. When did you know cooking would be your career?
Honestly, I don't think it was probably until just over halfway throughout my, my culinary program. The chef that I apprenticed under was heavily involved in competition. And I think she just took me under her wing. She was super excited, ooh, you're a young cook. I started young. And as soon as I started getting thrown into all the competitions and everything, I just kind of found my niche. And once I saw the chefs kind of have their passion for food and I saw their drive, that just really drove me to kind of continue with what I was doing. And 6.5 years later, here I am still. So.
Well, quite the career in such a short time. How does your Cowichan culture influence your cooking?
If I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about my Cowichan kind of heritage. I didn't really grow up kind of around that family or kind of with that influence. But what I've been very blessed with has been, so I went to high school in Oliver here in British Columbia, a very small town, but as part of the Siouxsie Indian Band Nation. And so when I was in high school and culinary school, they were kind of the biggest influences and kind of showed me and kind of taught me some of their culture and some of their history. And then so when it comes to my cooking and stuff like that, the more I dive into my Cowichan heritage, I like to pay an homage to what I've learned from the West Coast and bring it in with the interior. So it's West Coast meets interior.
You've got a great job as a chef at Mission Hill Winery in Kelowna. What made you want to hit pause on that to compete on Top Chef?
You know what? I think an opportunity like that, especially with the magnitude of the competition, being given the opportunity, especially at this young of an age, it was kind of something it would be crazy not to take this opportunity. I think it definitely not only will open doors for my career, but it definitely has given me a huge chance to just kind of speak out not only on my story, but to kind of bring light and hopefully kind of show others the beauty of Indigenous culture.
This has already been filmed. We know, of course, you can't tell us the outcome, but can you share with us how high pressure this type of competition is?
Oh my God, oh girl, let me tell you, it's a whole level of pressure. It is I've done so many competitions, but hands down, this was the most stressful experience of my life. It's crazy. It's something that you can't prepare yourself for. It's intense.
Are you able to share what the biggest challenge was?
I think obviously when it comes to the whole cooking aspect, the whole thing is a challenge in itself. I think my biggest challenge was for myself personally was just trying not to get in my own mind and kind of have that blockade of okay, all these chefs that I'm competing against have 15, 20 years of cooking experience, and I'm wow, that's over half my lifespan. Okay. So I think it's just trying not to get too much into my own mind, because I know definitely that can be a huge, that can stop you. You can just kind of not push yourself beyond what you actually are capable of doing.
For sure. And, looking back and looking at comparing it, I guess, to some of the other competitions that you've taken part of, what was the favorite thing about this one?
Oh, honestly, probably everything. The whole, just kind of the production of it all, but then the people that I was with, not only the chefs that I competed against, but the whole crew and everything like that. It's an experience I'll never forget. Everyone really, especially all the chefs, everyone just becomes a family. And I've never had a more supportive group of people than the chefs that I competed against. So.
Well, again, we know you can't tell us the outcome, but let's imagine that you did win that $100,000 top prize. How would you spend it?
Oh, I am 21 years old, a line cook, living in this economy. Girl, I'd be paying off my debt. I got bills to pay, so I'd be taking that, paying those, and putting into savings.
I love it. I love it. Looking ahead, where do you, you're still quite young and there's many opportunities for you, but where do you see yourself? Where do you want your career to take you?
Honestly, I know it's kind of hard right now, especially with COVID. But I really just want to be able to travel with it all. I think it's very trained to be able to do that. I received a scholarship back a couple years ago to go move to like the Alsace region and make wine and work in Michelin restaurants out there. But alas, COVID has put a halt on all of that. I don't necessarily see Canada as like my kind of like final landing grounds. I just kind of want to travel different countries, experience like authentic cuisine. Everything here is so westernized. I would love to just like go like back to Italy and try somebody's like recipe that's been passed down from like their great nonna or something like that, and just kind of like really experience what each culture has to offer. So yeah.
Big plans, and yeah, unfortunately the pandemic, has halted a lot of that, but glad to see, that you've been able to do things during this time. I want to thank you so much again, Siobhan, and we'll make sure to root for you when Top Chef airs.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.